Tonight's Pix 11 News is brought to you by Raymore and Flanagan Furniture, furnishing your style.
Right now, the first major snowstorm of the season is winding down. Who got hit with the most snow and why you're still being urged to stay off the roads. Snowy SantaCon, the annual pub crawl taking place as usual this year in spite of wintry weather. And you can kiss that mistletoe goodbye, why a local organization was forced to take down the festive display. The Pix 11 News at 10 starts right now.
Live from 42nd and 2nd, this is the Pix 11 News at 10.
The first official snow day of the season is coming to an end. Good evening, everyone. I'm Shirley Chan. Katie has the night off. Welcome to the Pix 11 News at 10. The snow started falling across the tri-state this morning, and while some areas saw up to 6 inches of snow or more, most of us were spared the worst. Right now, we are down to a few flakes here in the city, but officials are warning the roads are still icy and slick. And as temperatures drop overnight, that could make driving very dangerous. We've got live team coverage for you from across the region, but we're going to start with Joe Chaffee. He's in for Craig Allen tonight. Joe.
And Shirley, we're looking at the radar at the moment, which has finally got that back edge of the snow moving across New Jersey and lightening up, still getting some bands of heavier snows, and that's really been the signature here. Some areas have picked up several to as much as a half a foot of snow, and then you could go 15 or 20 miles either side of that particular spot. And there was half of that or even a quarter of that, particularly in Suffolk County, where it was supposed to be the most, and at least so far it has been the least, although there is some catch-up going on here with some of the heavier snow bands there at the moment. But again, this area shifting eastward, probably in the next 2 hours. Much of the snow will be over with. 28 right now in Sussex and Newburgh, 32 at Bridgeport, the city's at 31, Princeton 30, Belmar at 30. So a lot of areas are below freezing, just a shade above freezing in Islip and at West Hampton, but I'm sure there are pockets on Long Island that are also under 32. We'll look at the Sunday forecast for you coming up in just a bit. Shirley.
Okay, Joe, thank you. And the snow may be winding down, but as Joe just mentioned, the temperatures are on the way down as well, and that could make for some icy mess on the roads overnight. Let's check in with Pix 11's Jennifer Bizram. She's live in Plainview, Long Island, with a look at what's happening out in Nassau County tonight. Jen.
Hi there, Shirley. You know, we were in Queens earlier today. Now we're on Long Island in Nassau County, where, as you can see, it's still coming down here. There are a few inches on the ground, but, you know, overall, people we talk with today say they are happy it's not as bad as they thought it would be. Michael Lemondola is shoveling what's left of today's snow outside of his Plainview home.
I'm a little bit of a fanatic when it comes to the snow, so I try to keep my walkway clean and the sidewalk. That way my wife and the dog don't slip and slide when they have to go out.
In preparation for the first snowfall of the season, Suffolk County had 17,000 tons of salt ready to go.
One of the things that always concerns me at the start of the winter season is there's almost a lack of remembering what it's like to drive on these roads in these kind of snowy conditions.
In Queens, while people took it easy on the roads, they also took advantage of this snow day with their loved ones. Everything from sledding and snowboarding to simply walking under snow-covered trees.
Anytime it snows, we're out here immediately.
Some even brought out their four-legged friends to enjoy the winter wonderland.
She started seeing it snow earlier, and she started to have a great time when we went in the front yard, so we figured coming out to the park.
All in all, people we talk with say it was just the right amount of snow to enjoy the day.
I'm glad it's not really sticking to the street and the sidewalks. It's nice when it's on the grass and in the trees.
And as this snow day comes to an end, one thing officials warn, they urge for you to be careful on the roads because they are icy, they are slippery. As we were driving here, we saw a lot of that on the roads as well. So again, if you are heading out tonight, be careful on the roads. We're live on Long Island tonight. Jennifer Bizram, Pix 11 News. Shirley?
Look at that snow coming down, Jen. Okay, stay safe out there. Thank you. And the season's first blast of snow will blanket most of New Jersey as well tonight, and a large portion of the Garden State will see more before morning. PIX 11's McGee Hickey is in Jersey City with some folks enjoying this winter wonderland. McGee.
Hi there, Shirley. We found our own little winter wonderland here in Hamilton Park in Jersey City. It is so gorgeous here. Take a look behind me at the gazebo to the distance with the Christmas lights. It looks like a Christmas card. And because Jersey City got only 2 inches of snow and it fell on a weekend, most people seem to be really enjoying it. With the temperatures just hovering at the freezing mark, it was time to shovel away the 2 inches of snow that fell in Jersey City so far and put the sodium chloride ice melt on slippery sidewalks. Some drivers were prepared, lifting their wiper blades so they don't get stuck in the snow. This Queens resident visiting Jersey City for the day was busy clearing and scraping and reveling in the first snowfall of the season.
I love it. I love the look of the snow, so I'm happy to be out here shoveling. It's nice. It's a beautiful day. Yes.
Really? You're happy about all
I like it. I mean, it's fun to be seeing it. It's a good change to see the snow falling down and all the beautiful trees out here in Jersey City. It's gorgeous.
The Clark family enjoyed a great birthday for daughter Victoria, who just bought herself a 4-wheel drive car in the nick of time. Oh, how perfectly timed.
To test it was nice having that. Just made it a little less stressful driving in this.
Right.
Yeah. It's before Christmas. I like snow.
A little crazy on the highway, but we made it nice and safe all the way back here to Jersey City. And we just had a great time with my 2 daughters. And the snow is great, and it's Christmas time, and we love it.
And for the Bascaran family of Fairlawn, everyone was delighting in how much 5-year-old Dahlia loves to make snowballs. What do you think of this snow?
I love it.
She was so excited, and then we both were like, we made snowballs and threw it at each other, and it was so cool. It was really, she was so excited.
Back now live in beautiful Hamilton Park in Jersey City. The snow should be tapering off in the next 2 or 3 hours, and then time for a little more cleanup tomorrow morning. We are live in Jersey City. McGee Hickey, PIX 11 News. Back to you, Shirley.
Everyone enjoying the snow. Yes, that is a gorgeous shot. Okay, McGee, thank you. The snow in our area today actually first started in the south. The system left record snowfall for the month of December, more than a foot just in the mountains of North Carolina. Roads were closed and nearly 400,000 customers were without power. Black ice causing accidents in San Antonio, Texas. Emergency workers had to climb through the wreckage to get drivers out of at least 15 vehicles. Now, there is even a rare snowstorm in Mississippi. Parts of the state could get accumulations of up to 2 inches. A winter storm warning is in effect for much of the area today. Parts of Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, and Georgia have all seen snow this weekend. And with the weather taking an icy turn, airports are certainly seeing some flight delays. Both JFK and LaGuardia are experiencing arrival and departure delays of about 15 minutes. Newark Liberty Airport is seeing some progress with delays now down to an hour and a half. Now, earlier delays were over 2 hours at Newark. Be sure to check with your airline to determine if your flight has been affected. Our coverage of this wintry blast continues online at pix11.com as the storm continues to move through our area. And for the latest anytime, download the PIX 11 app. President Trump was in Mississippi today paying tribute to civil rights icons. He toured the opening of the new Civil Rights Museum in Jackson before it opened to the public. His appearance was boycotted by several black leaders, including 2 members of Congress. The mayor of Jackson refused to speak alongside the president, and the NAACP denounced Trump's record on civil rights. A Say No to Hate protest was organized to correlate with Trump's arrival.
Some of us will kneel and some of us will turn our backs. We're calling it turn our backs to hate, turn our backs towards the motorcade as it drives by.
The president spoke at the opening of the museum. He did not mention the controversy surrounding his appearance or those protesting. Voters in Alabama will be hearing a robocall from President Trump. He will be urging them to support Republican senatorial candidate Roy Moore. The president threw his support behind Moore earlier this week. Moore is facing accusations that he pursued relationships with teenagers. He was in his 30s at the time. Moore also faces allegations that he molested a 14-year-old girl and sexually assaulted a 16-year-old. He has repeatedly denied those allegations. He's facing Democrat Doug Jones in a tight special election this Tuesday. And we are just getting started on the PIX 11 news at 10. Still to come, the longtime conductor for the Metropolitan Opera will not be facing criminal charges. Why sex abuse allegations that brought down his career are being dropped. Plus, no more mistletoe at Grand Central Terminal. The reason a festive holiday display has been taken down. And Brooklyn, home to the hipster crowd, right? Maybe not. A new survey kicks them off the top 10 list. We'll tell you why.
You're watching the PIX 11 News at 10 with Kaidi Tong, meteorologist Craig Allen, and Andy Adler with sports. We're New York's very own.
Either a bomb goes off and we're dead, or he's captured and we go to prison.
Engage. That all new Monday at 9 on the CW PIX 11. Think you're a trivia master? Cash Cab is back on the streets and looking for contestants. Host Ben Bailey is parking it on our couch to talk about the show's big return to New York. Plus, OG catches up with Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron at the New York premiere of their new movie musical, The Greatest Showman. Monday on the PIX 11 Morning News, New York's very own.
Hey! Yeah? I switched to Geico and got more. More savings on car insurance? They helped with homeowners, too. Okay. Plus, motorcycle, boat, and RV insurance. Geico's got you covered. Like a blanket.
Houston, you seeing this?
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
We're lucky to be hosting Ronaldo, who's here in America for a match.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
It was a beautiful holiday night. Snow was in the air. And a set of WeatherTech floor liners placed under the tree with care. And a new bump step to protect Daddy's nice SUV. And seat protectors, all just for you, Stevie. And a cargo liner, laser measured to fit just perfectly.
And what story is that?
What are you talking about? It's our favorite.
Yeah.
Order the perfect holiday gift today at WeatherTech.com. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from WeatherTech.
Hi.
Well, honey, I said sweet potatoes.
Yes, you did. I forgot the shrimp. Shrimp? An apple pie.
Dad likes pecan.
Oh, well, in that case, I can...
Love to drive? Visit the Start Your Own Legacy winter sales event for leases starting at $289 a month at your tri-state Infinity retailer.
Welcome back to the PIX 11 News at 10. A top music executive from Disney is behind bars tonight after police say he molested two young girls. 58-year-old John Healy is reportedly accused of abusing two underage girls nearly 10 years ago, with one of the teens claiming the abuse happened over a span of 4 years. Healy has been charged with 3 felony counts of child sex abuse, to which the Disney executive strongly denies the accusations. Disney quickly suspending him without pay. Healy has been released on $150,000 bail. Metropolitan Opera conductor James Levine will not face criminal charges. Now, there were allegations he sexually abused a minor in the 1980s. The police department of Lake Forest, Illinois, has been investigating this case. They've announced that there were no grounds for a criminal case. Levine has seen his professional affiliations crumble this week. This includes the Met, which he led as music and artistic director for 40 years. The Met distanced itself from Levine soon after the allegations were published. Now here's a sign of the holidays not leaving people feeling merry and bright. We showed you the mistletoe around Grand Central yesterday. Signs read "Kisseltoe" and "Pucker up." Well, some women felt that this wasn't sending the right message, encouraging strangers to just come up and grab a kiss. So today, an organization took the mistletoe down. For commuters at Grand Central, it's probably best to just focus on catching your train rather than a smooch this season. Snow or no snow, scores of Santas took the streets today in the annual tradition known, of course, as SantaCon. In the years past, the bar crawl has turned into a series of bar brawls, but organizers were hoping that this year might be a little more mellow. PIX11's McGee Hickey has a story from the East Village.
Hundreds of Santas gathered as the snowflakes just began to fall on the steps of the Farley Post Office at 34th and 8th Avenue at 10 this morning. And as the snowfall increased, so did the number of Santas, elf impersonators, reindeer, and even an abominable snowman or two. It's the annual pub crawl called SantaCon, and more than 50 bars are participating, mostly in Midtown and the East Village. And these revelers come from all over, including this elf on a shelf from Baltimore.
This is my first SantaCon, but I'm having a great experience so far. So I feel like it's like the best thing ever. And I feel like it's not like a drunk SantaCon. I just feel like it's like everyone coming together and like celebrating the holidays in New York.
A portion of the money from this pub crawl goes to charity, but it's never enough to stop the naysayers, and there are so many. This year, an ad agency even started a campaign, #SitOutSantaCon.
They're befouling property, they're doing things that kids shouldn't see, and they're doing it dressed up as Santa.
PIX11 spotted some rowdy, perhaps inebriated Santas on the corner of 41st and 2nd, scaring mothers and their young children.
They're just drunk people on the street.
Drunk Santa Clauses.
Yeah. I don't think it's a good example for anybody.
It's weird.
Really? What's weird about it?
Because they're only people dressed up.
Right. They're not the real Santa.
No.
And it was so packed inside Crocodile Lounge, it was all about crowd control, and outside, more pro and anti-SantaCon comments.
It's an excuse to get drunk, and I would hate to go by later on in the day.
Can you understand that some people don't like all this joy and drunken festivities of SantaCon?
I can't understand that. Reasons why is because this is New York City. So, I mean, there's bars everywhere. If you don't like it, then go somewhere else. Have a good time somewhere else.
Since 2012, the first year of SantaCon, organizers say they have raised more than $200,000 in New York City alone for local charities. Two of the charities, Safe Horizon and Urban Pathways. From the East Village, McGee Hickey, PIX11 News.
Yeah, New Yorkers always seem to have a love-hate relationship with SantaCon, but there's something about seeing all those Santa costumes, people in Santa costumes, and all the snow. Something fits, right, Joe? Wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It really was nice out in a way, walking around in Manhattan with the snowflakes coming down and folks enjoying themselves. But the snow part is going to come to an end soon. We're looking at the radar, and that band, the western edge of it, is rapidly weakening. Looks like just a few leftover flurries running up from northern Bergen County right down to just west of the city line, or actually just west of the river, and then back over toward Edison and South Brunswick. All of that seems to be weakening. However, at least for another hour or so across Queens and Nassau County, we're seeing some steadier, heavier snow where some places have not gotten much of that today. So this last band is kind of playing itself through. This whole system seems to be in the process of gradually falling apart now as we head toward the midnight hour. And in the meantime, in the Hudson Valley, also same thing. The radar echoes are weakening rather rapidly, and this thing is slowly coming to an end. And it's snowing up and down the coast in coastal New Jersey, mainly along and just west of the Garden State Parkway to the shoreline. And they may be making up for the snow that they should have gotten earlier but didn't. Now, if you are traveling in the next few hours or through the overnight, beware the temperatures are going to be near or below freezing, and that's going to create a lot of slick spots around. We're in the upper 20s to low 30s in North Jersey. Jersey. We're mostly in the upper 20s to around 30 in the Hudson Valley. And as we check out the Jersey Shore, temperatures all down to near freezing, and on Long Island and in Connecticut. Also, a good chunk of Long Island now below freezing, and most of Connecticut, where there were 6-inch snow amounts, also below freezing. We'll let you know how Sunday's going to be. It'll be better. I'll tell you about that in just a bit. Shirley.
Well, look at those numbers. Okay, Joe, we'll check back in shortly. So when you think hipsters these days, you think Brooklyn, right? Well, a new survey ranks the top hipster cities in America. And get this, Brooklyn didn't even make the top 10. PIX 11's Joe Messeri hit the streets in search of answers.
If you're a self-proclaimed hipster, it might be time to move that man bun to the Midwest. According to the U.S. Hipster Index, Brooklyn doesn't even crack the top 20 when it comes to habitats for hipsters.
I'm pretty surprised. I mean, I don't want to be too presumptuous, but I'm probably in that category, as are pretty much all of my friends.
The study was created by MoveHub, a website for international travelers, and used 5 key metrics to measure the hipster havens. They were microbreweries, vegan stores, thrift shops, tattoo parlors, and rent demand. Drew Kimmis at the V-Spot, a vegan restaurant in Park Slope, says figuring out the best place for hipsters depends on how you define the term in the first place.
I don't mind the term. I think it's somebody who's young and involved in the community that they live in and is concerned with, not just what's cool, but with what's important and happening.
And when it comes to evaluating these hipster havens, Kimmis says they left a few criteria off the list. For example, how friendly is a city to bikes?
I would say I would add DIY music venues, do-it-yourself music venues, places where up-and-coming bands can go and play in front of small groups of people.
But it is fair to question the study's accuracy, considering their map puts Huntsville, Alabama, number 16 on the list, somewhere in Mississippi, and said Cincinnati, number 3 on the list, was in Idaho instead of Ohio. If you're wondering, the title of Hipster Haven goes to Vancouver, Washington, with a score of 8.23 out of 10. Brooklyn finished 143rd out of 150. Joe Messeri, PIX 11 News.
I say recount. I don't know how Brooklyn did not make that list. All right, still to come on the PIX 11 News at 10. Good news for parrot heads. You'll soon be able to get your Margaritaville fix right here in the city. We'll tell you how. Plus, P. Diddy is used to topping the music charts, and now he's topping a whole different kind of list, and this is really one to celebrate. Plus, Andy's here to tell you about the Yankees making some big headlines today. Andy.
You're right, Shirley. That's right. Giancarlo Stanton is coming to the Bronx, but it's the Mets who want to cash in on this deal. We're going to explain that. Plus, Mets taking on the Heat, Rangers taking on the Devils. We have your highlights, your post-game reaction, and a whole lot more. Sports is coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We can do an interview riding bikes together.
I got you.
You're my kind of woman.
Don't wink at it. Wink.
OG.
Who's your best friend, sir?
OG.
I've always told people they were related. Sister, we're related.
OG.
Are we rolling on this?
So my girl right here.
That's right. I try to keep my OG status correct. Birthday cake, Samuel Jackson.
Whew, that was close. Come on!
Uh-oh. Better get Mako. This holiday season, take advantage of Mako's bumper paint special for only $99. Mako, America's Body Shop.
Can you fit in there?
I got this.
So that's the new man, huh?
Yep.
Well, he's getting a little close to my ride.
Wow. That's how you make a first impression. They're gonna love you.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0% financing for 72 months plus $1,500 cash back on Explorer. Or lease one for just $229 a month, only at your local Ford store.
The perfect gift. 1/5 carat studs, $69. Diamond pendants, $99. Half carat hoops, $299. And diamond tennis bracelets, $399 per carat. Thousands of forever gifts guaranteed to appraise for double. Buy factory direct and save big. The Jewelry Exchange Hackensack.
$1.99 hot chocolate at Dunkin'? That's like a big, yummy hug. So hug it up. Hug more. Hug large. Hug medium? Hug that. Live the hug life with $1.99 medium or larger hot chocolate. America runs on Dunkin'.
Dinner with friends, gotta bring some food.
Not a great cook, but don't want to be rude.
Holiday lights are the perfect touch. May have done just a bit too much.
Get on the holiday road in a Honda Civic. See your dealer for great holiday deals during the Happy Honda Days sales event.
Whew, that was close. Come on!
Uh-oh. Better get Mako. This holiday season, take advantage of Mako's bumper paint special for only $99. Mako, America's Body Shop.
Okay, parrot heads, listen up. Jimmy Buffett packed up his flowered shirts and is now in the Big Apple. The box office for the singer-songwriter's Broadway show Escape to Margaritaville has officially opened. Fans should be flocking. New York City must be paradise because Buffett enjoyed a cheeseburger here at his press conference. Escape to Margaritaville opens on Broadway February 16th. Diddy did it. Sean Diddy Combs tops the latest Forbes list of the highest paid musicians. Between June 2016 and June 2017, Combs earned a whopping $130 million. Now this from his Bad Boy Family reunion tour and his various businesses. Beyonce also taking second place, earning $105 million from her Formation World Tour. Meantime, singer Mary J. Blige is earning rave reviews for her acting in Mudbound. Now there's a sign she could be headed for Hollywood's biggest prize. Blige could get the Breakthrough Performance Award at the Palm Springs International Film Festival. Now, the previous winner, Moonlight's Mahershala Ali, went on to win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. We have more news ahead on the PIX 11 News at 10. The first death has been reported in those raging California wildfires, but firefighters may finally be getting a handle on the flames. Is the state facing a new normal when it comes to the fierceness of these blazes?
I'm Lisa Mateo, and Puerto Rico is open for business. Coming up, I'm going to tell you how you can help rebuild the island while on vacation.
Watching the last of the snow now playing through as the back edge moves across northern New Jersey, and eventually we'll see the snows end over Long Island. They're just about done in the Hudson Valley. We'll have a complete forecast and much more as the news continues. We'll be right back.
Gifts crafted by human hands move us the most, especially those infused with the passion of the people who create them. This holiday, treat yourself to a Mazda, crafted just for you. Celebrate the season with a test drive today. Mazda, driving matters.
The pain was so debilitating and it was so bad that when I would have to go in for another surgery, and I had gone through so many surgeries, surgery after surgery after surgery, I would pray not to wake up. I had seen a few commercials for New York Presbyterian. I don't think I was 10 minutes into the visit before I knew that this was a very different place to get treated. I went from a very defeatist attitude to a very positive one almost instantaneously. One of the greatest gifts New York Presbyterian gave to me regarding my treatment was hope. Once I had hope, I felt significantly better in the world.
Everyone's selling mattresses these days.
And for crazy money, $2,000, $3,000.
Crazy.
Get what you want without breaking the bank at My Bob's Discount Furniture.
The luxury of pure Bob-O-Pedic memory foam, super firm innerspring support, super plush innerspring bounce, or a hybrid mix.
4 different queen-size mattress sets, only $5.99 each.
Anticipation Eurotop or Firm, the Bob-O-Pedic-9 or Bob-O-Pedic-9 Hybrid.
An untouchable $5.99 each, only at My Bob's Discount Furniture.
Taking a drive to see the holiday lights. Brought some candy so the kids don't fight.
Off to grandma's to celebrate. detour, so we're gonna be late. Whoa, holiday road.
Get on the holiday road in a Honda Pilot. See your dealer for great holiday deals during the Happy Honda Days sales event.
PIX-11 News, sponsored by Honda. Hurry into the Happy Honda Day sales event today.
Live from 42nd and 2nd, this is the PIX-11 News at 10.
We made it through the snow, and now, how about the cold? Welcome back to the PIX-11 News at 10. I'm Shirley Chan, in for Kaidi tonight. Thank you for staying with us. We're taking a live look outside right now as snow is winding down. Some parts of the region seeing up to 6 inches or more. Some got barely a dusting, but everyone is in for some frigid temperatures as we head into the work week. Right now, Jennifer Bisram is live for us in Plainview with more. Jen.
Hi there, Shirley. You know, we were in Queens earlier today. Now we're on Long Island in Nassau County. And as you can see, the snow is still coming down. There's a few inches of snow on the ground today. And, you know, we talked with a lot of people today. A lot of them say that they were prepared, but they're happy that it's not as bad as they thought it would be. Take a look at some video that we have here for you from both Long Island and Queens. First, we found people on Long Island shoveling the snow in and outside, rather, their homes, just shoveling the last bit of it, you know. And in Suffolk County, they were very prepared. They had over 17,000 tons of salt ready to go just in case. In Queens, they were prepared too, but they were also taking some time, people there, to enjoy the day at Astoria Park. Everything from snowboarding to bringing out their pets to enjoy the day. I mean, overall, it was a day where people say they were happy because the snow was just the amount that they were hoping for to enjoy the day. Still, as you mentioned, Shirley, it is cold and the roads are very slick. Here's what one guy we talked with had to say.
The conditions, visibility. You know, I drive to Port Washington, so it's a little hilly. Some of the roads are windy, you know, so you just got to take it slow. Okay. It's a little slushy out there now, but, you know, hopefully by tomorrow midday we'll be back to normal.
And that is the hope for many people tonight, that tomorrow things will be better, especially on the roadways. As we were driving through Queens and the city, even getting here to Long Island today, we had to be careful also. The roads, they are icy, they are slippery. So some word of advice, officials say if you are heading out tonight, use extra caution. We're live on Long Island tonight. Jennifer Bisram, PIX-11 News. We'll send it back to you in the studio, Shirley.
Tomorrow will be cleanup day. Okay, Jen, thank you. Meantime, nearly 1,000 customers are without power tonight, leaving many people without heat to stay warm during this freezing weather. Con Edison reporting several power outages all over the city due to the blasting wind. The power company is now working to restore power in the Bronx, Washington Heights, the Upper East Side, and Bushwick by tonight. Several people are displaced tonight after a fast-moving fire erupts in an apartment building in the Bronx. Officials say the blaze began on the first floor of this 6-story building in Bedford Park on University Avenue, happening just before 6. 9 people suffering minor injuries, including 2 firefighters. The cause of the blaze has yet to be determined. An investigation is ongoing. The first fatality has been reported in the devastating California wildfires. A woman was found dead in her vehicle. Authorities say it was partially due to a traffic accident. She was in her car trying to evacuate. She eventually died from smoke inhalation and thermal burns. President Trump declared an emergency and ordered federal assistance to the fires yesterday. The devastation from the fires has been tremendous.
As of this morning, we have 8,500 firefighters on the fire line across the 6 large fires that have occurred as a result of this wind event. We burned over 175,000 acres. And over 793 structures have been destroyed across these fires.
Authorities are encouraging local residents to stay indoors as much as possible due to the amount of smoke in the air.
Strictly Business Report is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
The numbers are out, and as of last month, the country's job market is showing another strong performance. According to Pew Research, 228,000 new jobs hit the market in late October, showing a nice bounce back from September, which suffered a blow due to those rough hurricanes. The labor market is seeing the most growth in healthcare, businesses, and manufacturing. Bitcoin is taking a bit of a tumble 2 days after breaking the $19,000 barrier. The virtual currency traded close to $15,000 on Friday, more than $3,000 less than its high. Experts say the correction is healthy because Bitcoin's price had jumped 80% in the past week. Coffee giant Starbucks has a new drink for the holiday season. Now, they are debuting a Christmas tree Frappuccino for a limited time. Now, get this. The drink is a peppermint mocha creme Frappuccino topped with green whipped cream. It will be available at locations in the U.S. and Canada on Monday. And that's your Strictly Business Report. While many mountainous towns and villages of Puerto Rico continue to recover from Hurricane Maria, tourism has returned to the major cities and ports. PIX-11's Lisa Mateo visited the island last week, and she has more now on how your travel dollars can make a great contribution to the island during this very difficult time.
Yo sé lo que son los encantos de mi Borinquen hermosa.
Tourism is the lifeline of Puerto Rico. Last year, it generated an estimated $8 billion. It also creates more than 50,000 jobs for its people. But as you can see, most of its stores are closed, and it's struggling.
It's very hard. So we're looking forward to the ship on Thursday.
These cruise ships are music to the ears of many islanders.
Tourism is a driver of economic development. Our island has gone through very challenging times.
For Jose Izquierdo, executive director of the Puerto Rican Tourism Company, the arrival of 7,000 visitors into port on this day is a blessing.
Today is the first day of transit calls. This means that the passengers get off the ship and walk about the city and go on tours. So it helps reactivate tourism as an industry. There's around 35 more towards the end of the year. And together with the home port calls, we're talking about an economic impact of around 25 million.
I think that it's a good feeling to know that you're helping them get back on their feet again.
And there's plenty to celebrate.
There's around 1,200 restaurants just between Old San Juan and Condado that are open. Right now, more than 75% of hotels are open. Around 82 attractions are fully functional, and our beaches, we're tidying them up. Our shores are looking better than ever.
I think we're the first ship that came on port since the hurricane. So it's nice to buy stuff and help them out.
The Rebuild Puerto Rico initiative allows tourists to take part in the island's recovery by volunteering while on vacation.
People usually have this vision of a tourism only as a leisure traveler sipping a piña colada. You can still have that here, but there is people who want to come to Puerto Rico and other places in need to help rebuild.
Volunteers have already helped clean up the Camuy Cave, the third largest underground cave system in the world.
Sooner than we know, we're going to have Puerto Rico thriving again as a tourism destination. It speaks to our resiliency. It's a sturdy city, and trust me, it withstood invasions. There's no hurricane can dent it.
The Meaningful Travel campaign takes place through the end of the year. For more information on the dates and cleanup locations, log on to seepuertorico.com. And we are not done yet with our coverage of the recovery of the island. Tune into our half-hour special, Island in Crisis, on the 3-month anniversary of Hurricane Maria, Wednesday, December 20th, 6:30 p.m., and then again on Friday, December 22nd at 10:30 p.m., right here on PIX-11. Lisa Mateo, PIX-11 News.
Your heart goes out to them because they certainly have a long road to recovery.
Well, you have 3 major hurricanes in the span of 4 weeks, so it was just quite a summer for them. Yeah. And now, of course, we're on the wintertime side for us.
It's a little bit of a nuisance snow today, right?
Yeah, and kind of a bit of a crazy snow because the areas that were supposed to get the most got the least, and the areas that we thought would get the least got the most. And we've been trying to figure out why it happened this way, but I think that sort of post-game analysis will have to wait until Sunday. In the meantime, just wanted to show you a few of the snow amounts. The area in the middle actually wound up getting what was forecasted for the most part. Newark, 3.6. Elmwood Park, these are some Jersey numbers. 4 inches, Elmwood Park, 1.5 inches at Toms River, 4.5 in Harrison, Westwood at 4, Mawa at 3.7. As far as areas around the city and Long Island, we've got Wantagh at 2.2, Wakefield 3.9. 4.4 at LaGuardia, 2.6 at Kennedy, and then 1.2 inches at Islip. And you go up into the Hudson Valley, Middletown getting 4.8. And as we check out Connecticut, the numbers were generally in the range of about 3 to 5 inches, although there were a few pockets that got upwards of 6 to 7. The normals this time of year, still average high of about 45. We only got to 35 today. Low was 31, 34 is average. And you can see what the records are. And we picked up just about a little less than a third of an inch. Outside right now at the park, it's 31. We're below freezing, so things could be getting a little slick, especially on untreated surfaces. 92% humidity and a north-northwest wind at 12, which is a drying wind, which is why all of the radar echoes continue to fall apart. Still some snow going on over Long Island, but I think within the next 2 hours, much of this is going to disappear. Now, there is an upper air disturbance, by the way, moving across Pennsylvania. We may see a few snow flurries here with that, or a snow shower during the early morning hours on Sunday, maybe say between 4 and 7 a.m., but that's not going to amount to too much. The next weather system and weather changer will be low pressure diving down out of Canada. It should track to our north, so we may just see some rain or snow showers with this. But the real story with it will be the front when it goes by early on Tuesday, because behind it we have a shot of very, very cold air that is going to come in for later Tuesday through early Thursday. Snow is just about done. Temperatures by morning in the upper 20s. Watch for another stray snow flurry in the morning. Otherwise, a gusty wind and some sunshine. And then a real shot of cold air arrives for Tuesday and takes us right into Thursday. Shirley.
Get those winter coats ready. Okay, Joe, thank you. Still ahead on the PIX-11 News at 10, a special celebration for some New York City kids today. The Police Athletic Association put on quite a party for hundreds of happy children. More on all the fun later. Plus, Andy Adler is catching up on some pretty big news in sports. Andy.
Yeah, a lot of big news today. We're talking about the Heisman Trophy Award. Plus, Giancarlo Stanton is coming to the Bronx, but it's actually the Mets. They're looking to cash in on this deal. We're going to break that down. Plus, it was Nets taking on the Heat, Rangers taking on the Devils. We'll have your highlights, your post-game reaction, and a whole lot more. Sports is coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Get ready for the Goldbergs every weeknight, 7 and 7:30 on PIX-11.
This lower Manhattan scaffolding may look harmless, but it created a perfect place for drug users to shoot up. Then Howard stepped in. See if he was able to clean up the situation. Monday on the PIX-11 News at 10, New York's very own.
Hi.
Well, honey, I said sweet potatoes.
Yes, you did. I forgot the shrimp. Shrimp? An apple pie.
Dad likes pecan.
Oh, well, in that case, I can.
Love to drive? Visit the
And this next story is raising some eyebrows. Don't look down. A daredevil completing a nerve-wracking walk from the Eiffel Tower. Now, he was suspended nearly 200 feet above the River Seine. The 22-year-old trapeze artist went barefoot on the tiny rope. He walked over 2,000 feet from the Parisian landmark to the Trocadero Square. Onlookers watched with excitement and probably some fright as he made it safely across the river. Good thing. The Yankees owning the sports story the day after reportedly making a big trade that brings a big-name MVP to the Bronx.
All right, you know, we've been discussing this, and I'll tell you, Yankee fans are excited. You guys have been sharing your thoughts. Giancarlo Stanton is coming to New York. Yes, the Yankees, they're making a statement here, and the statement is pretty simple. They're ready to win a World Series, and this is not just talk. They're putting their money where their mouth is. And yeah, this is not cheap. The deal should be completed by tomorrow, Monday the latest. Stanton will take a physical, and once that's completed, the Yankees will acquire the NL MVP. Now, Stanton, he's still owed $295 million over the next 10 years. Of course, you know, there's been a lot of reaction on social media. We've been listening to you guys. This might be my favorite, though. Aaron Judge put out this tweet that simply said, hey, Giancarlo, with a fist pump image. I like it. We can't really fully see it there, but there was a little, it was cuter on the actual Twitter. This one coming in from Didi Gregorius saying, hey, Skip, am I still batting fourth? The answer to that question right there, Didi, is most likely yes. And this one from a fan, the Yankees' answer to the Avengers, showing what could be the Yankees' 2, 3, and 4 hitters in next year's lineup. Okay, so in exchange for all of this, the Yankees give up Starlin Castro to the Marlins, but he may not be staying in Miami, not for long. The Mets, they're interested, and once the deal is done, the Mets plan to talk to the Marlins and try and bring him back to New York. We'll obviously keep you posted on that. All right, let's talk about the Nets, because Nets, they're in a pretty good situation. It's all relative. They've won 10 games, which doesn't sound great, but last year they didn't win 10 games until March. Tonight, they're in Mexico City taking on the Heat. About 20,000 people showed up para el juego. Picked things up here in the fourth quarter. Nets down by 7. Spencer Dinwiddie drills the 3, and suddenly it's a 4-point game. But, you know, the Heat, they just took control of this one. You'll watch it here, getting a little fancy. It's going to be James Johnson drives a lane and spins for the slam. Miami goes on to win it 101-89. Now, as for the Knicks, they're in Chicago. They're playing the Bulls. Knicks lost this one 104-102 to fall to 1-8 on the road. So while the Knicks are away, the Rangers will play. Tonight, they're at the Garden playing the Devils. Devils, they're tied for first place. Rangers, they're only 5 points behind. It was New York taking on New Jersey. And here we go. The Rangers, they came in with a little swagger, and I'll tell you, it paid off. Third period, Rangers up 3-1. That's when Matt Zuccarello, he scores his goal right there. New York goes up 4-1. But after the face-off, the Devils, they answer back, and they answer back quickly. Wood beats Lundqvist there, cuts the lead to 4-2, and just a little bit later in the period, Devils off the turnover. Kevin Hayes decides the game's over, and it is. Rangers win it 5-2. Islanders also played tonight. Boston won that game 3-1. Also tonight, it's the best college players. We're all in just one place. It's the Heisman Trophy. That was awarded tonight. And I'll say it, Bryce Love, you were robbed. Yes, I may be a little bit biased, but tonight the Heisman Trophy goes to Oklahoma quarterback Baker Mayfield. The ceremony went down in New York, Times Square. Check out these numbers here. Mayfield passed for more than 4,400 yards, 41 touchdowns with 71% completion. Now, that's pretty insane. Mayfield beat out last year's Heisman winner, quarterback Lamar Jackson from Louisville, and Stanford running back Bryce Love. Yes, you were robbed, Bryce. Earlier today, down in Philly, the Army Cadets and the Navy took the field before the 118th annual Army-Navy Games. But the star of this game has to be that man right there. Right there, from Navy quarterback Malcolm Perry. He ran for 250 yards on 30 carries, and this 68-yard score, that right there is just pretty. Looking at that in the snow. But with 3 seconds left, Navy trailing by 1. Bennett Mooring misses the 48-yard field goal. That's it. Army wins it 14-13. That's their first Commander-in-Chief trophy since 1996. Yes.
Look at them having to play in the snow there.
It's so beautiful to watch it. Tomorrow, I'm going to be over at the Giants game. It's Giants taking on the Cowboys. We were discussing the fact that, the game doesn't count for anything. They're playing for pride, but
just a safe face, right?
Well, yeah, and you know what? Coach Spagnuolo, he's playing for something. I mean, he wants that job, so it could be interesting.
Meantime, I think it's so interesting how the Mets could benefit from this Yankees big trade.
You know what I like? If New York wins all around, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's a win-win for us. All right. Thank you, Andy. And when we come back, we'll take a last look at weather with Joe Chaffee.
I'm Marvin Scott. Sunday morning on PIX-11 News Close-Up. We are one-on-one with City Controller Scott Stringer, whose audits reveal that MTA buses are the slowest in the nation. Why? And revelations about the deteriorating subway system. Plus, a financial specialist will explain how you will be impacted by the Republican tax plan now in the final stages in Congress. Join us, record us Sunday morning at 6 and at 11 a.m. on Facebook.com/PIX11 News.
No matter how the markets change, at T. Rowe Price, our disciplined approach remains. Global markets may be uncertain, but you can feel confident in our investment experience around the world. Call us or your advisor. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence.
With all the things you need to do before the holidays, you need fast internet so you can shop online, video chat, and stream holiday movies with ease. Call Optimum now at 866-200-7185 and get blitzin' fast 100 meg internet for just $39.99 a month for 1 year. See why Optimum was rated #1 in customer satisfaction and loyalty. Call 866-200-7185 now or visit optimum.com/holiday for special web-only offers.
Moore and Flanagan, now an elite Tempur-Pedic retailer.
Wow! This looks exactly like my car. This is my car. There's Jimmy's car seat. I'm a little confused.
Come on, look at this.
Are those WeatherTech floor liners? You got them for the front and the back? This is perfect!
WeatherTech is the perfect gift for vehicle lovers everywhere. With floor liners, cargo liners, and a full line of automotive protection products that help keep your vehicle looking its best. Order today at WeatherTech.com. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from WeatherTech.
You can't predict the market, but through good times and bad, at T. Rowe Price, we've helped our investors stay confident for over 75 years. Call us or your advisor. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence.
If you're headed out tonight, just be advised with temperatures near or below freezing in most areas, it may mean slick spots, especially now that the snow is coming to an end from west to east. We're in the upper 20s across northwestern New Jersey, much of the Hudson Valley, except perhaps the southern end down near Yonkers and southern Westchester. The city is below freezing at 31. Coastal New Jersey below freezing, near or a little bit above as you move through Long Island. And right on schedule, as we look at the radar echoes here, they're really starting to fall apart pretty rapidly as this weather system begins to pull away to the northeast. Low pressure is well offshore, and we could say goodbye to that. But we do have a little upper air disturbance here back in western Pennsylvania that may fire up a few snow showers sometime between, say, 4 or 5 a.m. till about 7 a.m. or so. They won't amount to much. So the snow is ending. Temperatures in the upper 20s. Temperatures tomorrow will be in the upper 30s to near 40 with a gusty breeze and some sunshine. And we'll check out the 7-day forecast, which has a lot of winter weather in it. And we'll be right back to wrap it all up.
We got holding, number 35, on offense. What? What? Holding? Who was he holding? Come on. That was a terrible call. Watch yourself, coach. You're kind of awful at this. That's it. You're out. You're out. Go. Bye. I'm out.
Take advantage of exceptional offers today.
I'm thankful that I'm alive and have a second chance.
I'm thankful for the help and the opportunity that I received.
I'm thankful to be able to help people in crisis.
I'm thankful that addiction is treatable and that help is available.
New Jersey is experiencing a heroin epidemic fueled by opioid painkillers. But if you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, I want you to know we are here for you. This holiday season, choose help. Call 844-REACH-NJ or visit reachnj.gov.
Kent French is the world-class clapper. 721 claps a minute. With the clapper, I only need 2 claps.
Clap on, clap off.
The clapper's great for hard-to-reach places. Controls 2 appliances, one with 2 claps, and one with 3 claps.
Clap on, clap off.
The clapper.
The clapper is available at Walgreens, participating Ace, Do It Best, and True Value. Makes a great gift.
When it comes to getting the best services for your home, it's important to have all the facts.
Myth: all TV providers are the same.
Fact: Spectrum TV gives you more free HD, free primetime on demand, and the Spectrum TV app, so you can watch live TV on any device in your home for $29.99 a month. Call 844-578-2999.
Myth: with internet, there's always a catch.
Spectrum has the fastest internet starting speeds for the price, 100 megabits, with no modem fees or data caps for $29.99 a month. Plus, Spectrum Voice gives you unlimited calling in the US, Mexico, Puerto Rico, and more for $29.99 a month. Call 844-578-2999.
Myth: getting the best price means signing a contract.
With Spectrum, there are no contracts and no termination fees. The fact is, Spectrum gives you the best services at the best value. Get Spectrum TV, internet, and voice for $29.99 a month each. Call 844-578-2999.
WPIX-11 News, sponsored by Spectrum. Join America's fastest growing TV, internet, and voice provider.
Back now with a great yearly story. Hundreds of kids are celebrating the holidays in the Bronx today. Take a look at this. The Police Athletic League hosting over 400 children from all 5 boroughs for an afternoon of arts and crafts, carnival games, a DJ dance party, and much more. And of course, there was a visit at the end from Santa Claus.
We do all sorts of activities. We have games, we have gifts, we decorate the center up, in a holiday fashion, and we just give a great morning and afternoon to the kids.
The league has been around for more than 100 years. It serves more than 30,000 children every year with different recreation, cultural, and social activities. So tomorrow's going to be a cleanup day.
Yeah, I guess.
It's
I don't
gonna be
know.
cold this morning,
I may just put it off and let the sun do its job.
You can let the sun.
Out of the Giants game, what's the deal? What are we expecting?
It'll be cold, but it'll be dry. And you're going to watch 2 teams. Can they both lose?
Come on, I like some football weather.
Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Closed captioning is brought to you as a public service by Raymore and Flanagan, furnishing your style.
A married superstar and the allegation that will shock his fans.
It needs to stop.
Daily Mail TV, Monday at 2 on PIX-11.
Well,
Hi.
honey, I said sweet potatoes.
Yes, you did. I forgot the shrimp. Shrimp? An apple pie.
Dad likes pecan.
Oh, well, in that case, I can...
Love to drive? Visit the Start Your Own Legacy winter sales event for leases starting at $289 a month at your tri-state Infinity retailer.
At Wonderbly.com, you can create the most incredible personalized books the world has ever seen. It works for any child, girl or boy, with a choice of brilliant stories, each one beautifully, wonderfully personalized. Create your personalized book at Wonderbly.com and we'll send it right to your home for a holiday gift they'll never, ever forget. Create some wonder. Visit Wonderbly.com today.
What do you think? Hey, think Ben will like it?
Yeah. Was I the only one hearing the angelic music?
I'm serious. I never know what to get him.
Just tell me you got him Fios, too. This is lame. Fios is a 100% fiber optic network. That plus this thick console, he'll be like, what?
Your new tech is best on the 100% fiber optic network. So get Fios, now just $79.99 per month with a 2-year price guarantee with a 2-year agreement.
Gifts crafted by human hands move us the most, especially those infused with the passion of the people who create them. This holiday, treat yourself to a Mazda, crafted just for you. Celebrate the season with a test drive today. Mazda, driving matters.
They came out of nowhere, sir.
How many of them?
We don't know. Dozens.
All right, let's teach these freaks some manners.
Good luck out there, Captain.
Thanks, but I don't need luck. I have skill. I don't have my keys.
All hands, we are looking for the captain's keys again. They are on a silver carabiner.
Oh, this is bad.
As long as people miss